Academy welcomes, with pride and gratitude, Mr. Bob Hope.
Welcome to the Academy Awards, or as it's known at my house, Passover.
So Passover means different things in different circumstances. But what makes Passover so special?
Why is this night different from all other nights? Passover, or Pesach, is one of the most significant Jewish holidays. It celebrates the Exodus narrative in which God uses Moses to deliver the Israelites from Egyptian slavery. You know the story. Moses is adopted by Pharaoh's daughter, grows up, sees injustice, kills an Egyptian, runs away, meets his wife, meets God, goes back to Egypt, unleashes the power of God in 10 plagues, splits the Red Sea, and receives the commandments of God. In the final plague, the death of the firstborn, the angel of death passes over all the homes marked by the blood of the Lamb. Thus the name Passover. Immediately after the event of many miracles, plagues, and power of God, God commands the Jewish people to remember what was done by having a meal called the Seder. Jewish people today still participate in a Seder, in which friends and family and entire communities come together to remember what God did for His people. Many items of great significance are used in the meal, and all are used to tell this amazing story.
So another story about Jews being persecuted all those years ago. Jeez, gets a bit dull after a while. But hold on, it's still happening.
ISIS has imminent plans to attack predominantly Jewish children in Turkey. Now, Sky News reports that 6 operatives from the terror group, they've been arrested last week. They revealed information about an imminent attack.
You'd think by now, all these years later, we'd be able to get on with people. I mean, there must be someone that likes us.
But Italians and Jews, very similar, you know. People say, same corporation, different division, all right? We get along. There's an obvious, thing with the religion. I went to my first Passover dinner. That's what she's like, my mother's gonna have Passover. Okay, we'll go to the dinner. 7:30, we sit down at her mother's house. I'm starving, right? Starving. They start passing out pamphlets, like reading material. I'm like, what's going on? What are we doing here? What's with the... She's like, no, we read for 2 hours. 2 hours? I said, listen, I'm Italian. As soon as I sit at a table, I gotta have bread within 15 seconds of sitting down, all right?
I'd say in 2016, we're okay to celebrate and commemorate Pesach in America. But Europe, well, in 2016, Europe's a very different place.
So something we've been hearing over the last couple of years from France is that more young French Jewish people are choosing to leave the country and in some cases move to Israel after graduating.
Beaucoup de nos familles ont quitté l'école pour aller en Israël. C'est une réalité chiffrée. Par exemple, pour cette année, sur l'ensemble de l'école, ça représente 36% des enfants qui ont quitté l'école du Sien de Hirsch pour aller en Israël. Parce que je suis pour qu'un juif puisse partir en Israël, mais je pense qu'un juif doit partir en Israël parce que c'est Israël, parce qu'il peut y vivre bien, mais pas parce qu'il fuit l'antisémitisme en Europe.
So inevitably, when we're sitting at the Passover table, we're going to be thinking about all those communities that are currently in Exodus. Yeah, in 2016, it's actually a biblical occurrence. And whether it's happening on the shores of Europe or Australia, the response from the community it's quite astounding.
We now have the code, which is, we're going to send the gunboats out to deter the people smugglers. No, you're going to send the gunboats out to stop desperate people getting to our shores. That dishonours the Holocaust, that dishonours the Refugee Convention, which was probably the world's apology for the Holocaust. So the language is bad enough, the language of swarming and flooding and all this dehumanising language. I mean, that's worthy of Rwanda during the massacre.
And I'm not going to tell you that the Jews have all the answers. We don't always get it right, even in Israel.
Decades of frustration boiled over on the streets of Tel Aviv and across Israel as thousands of Ethiopian Jews protested against discrimination. It wasn't the first time this community has taken to the streets, but now they have the country's attention.
But despite all differences, Jewish borders will remain open for Jews all over the world in distress, including these guys who just arrived from Yemen after an extraordinary escape from one of the bloodiest wars around. It's Pesach. We need a little lesson from a rabbi, please.
The stimulus for the lobster to be able to grow is that it feels uncomfortable. Right? Now, if lobsters had doctors, they would never grow. Because as soon as the lobster feels uncomfortable, goes to the doctor, gets a Valium, gets a Percocet, feels fine. Never gets off its shell. So I think that we have to realize that times of stress are also times that are signals for growth. And if we use adversity properly, we can grow through adversity.
So there's lots to learn here, and there are many ways of telling this Passover story.
Oh, hello, Pharaoh. Listen, the Jews have escaped, okay? So, yeah.
What? That's impossible! Who let the Jews out?
Who? Jews.
Who let the Jews out?
Jews.
Who let the Jews out?
Jews.
Who let the Jews out?
Jews.
Who let the Jews out? Who let the Jews out?
Who let the Jews out? Who let the Jews out? Who let the Jews out? Who let the Jews out?
Yes, this greeting has been brought to you by...